and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It's an overcast Monday evening here at Yankee Stadium, and it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight, it's the New York Yankees against the Minnesota Twins in the first game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay. This could be a preview of an American League wildcard game. Although the Yankees are aiming a little bit higher, they had a chance to move to within 2 games of the Red Sox yesterday, but they could not sweep the Orioles. They took 3 out of 4 yesterday. They lose, but the great season of Didi Gregorius continued.
The great season, I'm talking about defensive, offensive. He does everything for the New York Yankees. And yesterday, for the 3rd consecutive day, he hit his 24th home run. The next will break a record as the most by a shortstop. You flex your muscles, Didi. You've done great things for the Yankees this year.
Yeah, he's tied with Derek Jeter now. Look what he's done batting cleanup this year in 31 games, hitting .269. He has 11 doubles, 7 homers, 34 ribbies in 31 games, and he's slugging at .538. Let's take a look at today's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. Jaime Garcia goes up against his former teammates. Garcia pitched 1 game for the Twins before they traded him. And pitching for the Twins, he could be the starter in a wild-card game, Irvin Santana. Tell me something about Santana.
Well, Santana is a workhorse. He's got the 190-plus innings, got a chance to turn over 200. Good slider, good fastball, 15 wins. He is the ace of this staff. He is the guy Molitor wants on the hill in a big game.
Now, he has been red hot of late. If you take a look at his last 9 games, the numbers jump out at you. 4-0, 3.30. He's gone 57 in the 3rd innings, 54 strikeouts, 13 walks. Opponents hit just .230 against him. All right, so the Yankees and the Twins. Who would have thought this could be the wild card game? Right now, if the season ended, that's what it would be. Joe Girardi talks about this being a preview with Meredith Marakovitz next on Yes.
Welcome back to the Bronx. I'm Meredith Marakovitz. If the season ended today, the Yankees would be hosting the Minnesota Twins in a 1-game playoff. When I spoke to Joe Girardi earlier today, I asked him about the potential playoff preview.
It's a very important series. Obviously, you know, our goal is to win our division. It's our number 1 goal, and to do that, we're going to need to continue to win games. And in the event that we don't win our division, I think the next goal would be to have home field advantage for the playoff game, and this could go a long ways.
Gardner said in the clubhouse the way that the team is playing right now, he would put
the team up against anybody. How do you feel like the team matches up with the Twins in particular?
Well, I think we're playing extremely well, and so are they. They're very young, they're athletic, they do a lot of things, and you have to be heads up when you face a club like this. You look at Santana, he's got 15 wins and has pitched very well all year long. But the way we're playing, I like the way we're playing, and I'm sure Paulie likes the way they're playing over there too.
Matt Holliday has good numbers against Twins starter Ervin Santana. However, he is not in the lineup. Instead, Joe Girardi opting to DH Chase Headley this evening. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by Paul O'Neill. First pitch coming your way next after the break.
Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Honda. Great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. By the cloud that lets builders build, Amazon Web Services, Build On. By NYU Langone Heart. And by Bigelow Tea, who encourages you to grab a mug and tea proudly. Now the Yankees take the field. Ready to face Paul Molitor's Minnesota Twins. So as Jaime Garcia warms up, we'll take a look at the Twins starting lineup. Brian Dozier, the second baseman, will lead off. Joe Mauer at first base, hit second. Hitting third, and one of the reasons for the Twins being in a position to be in the playoffs, center fielder Byron Buxton. Jorge Polanco, the shortstop, will clean up. Batting fifth, the right fielder Eddie Rosario. Eduardo Escobar at third base. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, the DH Robbie Grossman. Jason Castro will catch, he'll bat eighth, and Ari Adrianza is in left field, and he is going to bat ninth. On the mound for the Yankees, a Minnesota Twin for just 6 days and one start. It's Jaime Garcia facing his former team, so he's been with the Braves, the Twins, and now the Yankees. 25 starts, 5-9, 4.35 ERA. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Well, you said it, Michael. He was 6 days as the Twins, and they thought they were out of it. Now they're back in it. Came over to the Yankees on July 30th. Too many walks. 3.68 walks per 9, which is third highest. And it's been over 5 since he's been with the Yankees. And 18 and over? No, that's not to get a beer at the bar, Michael. That's what happens after the third time through the lineup. Goes up to .417 on base percentage. So he does have a quick hook with Joe Girardi, no doubt about it.
Yankees would rather be 21 over, which is what you need to be to get a beer at the bar. The defense of the Yankees presented by Geico. You've got Gardner in left, Ellsbury in center, Judge over Height. In the infield, it's Todd Frazier, Didi Gregorius, Castro, and Bird, third to first. Sanchez behind the plate, and Garcia is on the mound. Brian Dozier has 8 leadoff home runs this year. He has 31 home runs in all, so he's dangerous at the top of their order. So Dozier's ready. Garcia is ready. And let's do it here at Yankee Stadium. First pitch is low, and we're underway. Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire. Gabe Morales, the first base umpire. The crew chief is Gary Cederstrom. He'll be umpiring at second, and Chad Fairchild is over at third. One and one. Twins come in at 78 and 71. They're 4 behind the Yankees for the first wild card. The Twins right now are in the position of the second wild card, and the Angels are chasing them. Yankees are 82 and 67. It really has come down to a 2-team race for that second wild card, the Angels and the Twins. The other teams have kind of played themselves out of it. 2-1. And there's the wild card standings right now. Angels 2 behind. Twins won yesterday against the Blue Jays. The Angels lost to the Rangers. Mariners 4 back. Royals and the Rangers are 5 back. What a job Paul Molitor has done with this Twins team. Grounded foul. Paul, this team is trying to do something that's never been done before. Last year, the Twins were 59 and 103. No team has ever lost 100 or more games and made the playoffs the next year, ever in the history of baseball.
You know, it's funny because the year before they won 82 or 83 games. They were above 500, and last year you expected the team, you know, to progress, and they didn't. And then all of a sudden they show up this year and play themselves back into a wild card.
Swing and a miss. Dozier down on strikes. Boy, he almost ran to the pitcher's mound. He was so far out of the lane. But Gary Sanchez got a good angle. Strikeout, put out 2-3. Let's look at the game time weather presented by City MD. Feeling under the weather? Just walk into City MD Urgent Care. 72 degrees, 81% humidity. The wind is 10 miles per hour. It's cloudy with a slight chance of rain.
You might have some interesting forecasts here in the next couple of days. That wind might come up a little bit.
Let's just cross our fingers that we get the games in.
That's right.
There's Joe Mauer. Well, the power's not there, but he's having a good year. Hitting .306, 7 home runs, and 65 ribbies. And the converted catcher has turned himself into an outstanding defensive first baseman.
He's a good athlete, no doubt about it, and he's been on fire at the plate lately. Talk about him not being able to hit home runs. You know, he does have power. He's just kind of gap to gap, and a lot of doubles. See in September so far, 383.
Boston and Baltimore tonight at Camden Yards, so we'll be keeping an eye on that throughout this game. Yankees had an opportunity to cut it to 2 games in the American League East yesterday, but lost 6-4 to Baltimore. A rare bad start by Sonny Gray, but the Yankees did take 3 out of 4 from Baltimore. 2-2.
A good movement from Garcia down in the strike zone, and again, I mean, he has to nibble. That's the type of pitcher he is, but he also has to trust that sinker, and that's to throw strikes, get away from the walks that have been kind of plaguing him all year.
Two. Strike 3. Mauer down looking. 2-away.
A good breaking ball there. Got away from the sinker and just kind of froze him on a breaking ball, and that's a good solid hitter. So get around the ball. Good slider right on the outside corner.
Now to bring up Byron Buxton, whose offense has finally come close to catching up to his exemplary defense in center field. He's actually been a force at the plate. Lined and foul. Wow, the left field line.
Came out of the on-deck circle swinging at that one. That ball was laced down the line. Buxton just looks like one of those guys that can run, and boy, he sure can.
A lot of the season he was under 200, but has really picked it up in the second half. Since July 1st, he's a .339 hitter. And you want to keep him off base because he's stolen 26 bases, been caught once. You see the difference, first 84 to the last 45. And the one time he was caught stealing, he had the bag stolen, but he overslid the bag and they kept the tag on.
It's just flat out running the ball there. Good change up there. Guy comes out and just laces your first fastball. You got to figure he's a dead fastball hitter. Take a little bit off.
See, Sanchez wants it maybe in the dirt, the 1-2. That's where he gets it, and a strong inning for Jaime Garcia as he strikes out the side. 1-2-3. Twins nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Now, it's time for the Yankees to come to the plate against Irvin Santana. Here's the order. Yankees starting on it, presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner's in left, leading off. Batting second and playing right, Aaron Judge. Gary Sanchez will catch. He'll hit third. Cleaning up again, the shortstop, Didi Gregorius. Chase Headley will DH. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, second baseman, Starlin Castro. Jacoby Ellsbury in center field hits seventh. Batting eighth, playing third base, Todd Frazier. And Greg Bird gets started at first base. He's going to bat ninth. And they will face Irvin Santana, 34-year-old right-hander, 15-7 with a 3.35 ERA. All of his numbers are good. Obviously, he'd like to have a bit fewer walks. Let's take a look at the pitcher's scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Brought to you by me, too, Michael.
That's right.
He is a workhorse. 193 innings plus coming into tonight's game. Road warrior. He's 2.74 on the road, but which is third in the American League. But problems are here. He's got over a 7 ERA in 5 starts at the new Yankee Stadium. So something's got to give here.
Brett Gardner, and the first pitch is a strike. Well, the Twins have not exactly been road warriors of late. They started out 23-9 away from Target Field, which is great, but 16-23 since then.
Santana has a live arm at 95. There are a lot of sliders. He will use his sinking fastball a lot throughout the course of the game.
13th big league season. He has 5 complete games this year and 3 shutouts. That just doesn't happen anymore.
No, I mean, he is kind of an old school pitcher because he doesn't overthrow. He pitches to contact. He'll get quick outs with ground balls. Remember him with Anaheim, good solid starter that Mike Scioscia kind of groomed to be the old time kind of starter to give you a lot of length.
One hop to the shortstop Polanco, long throw and a stretch by Maurer to just get Gardner for the first out. Let's take a look at the defense presented by Geico. Adrianza in left, Buxton in center. He can get it with anybody. Rosario over and right in the infield. Escobar, Polanco, Dozier, and Maurer, third and first. Jason Castro behind the plate. Told you about Irvin Santana on the mound. So here's Aaron Judge, who never got the opportunity to try and tie the game yesterday as Buck Showalter intentionally walked him, raising eyebrows really around the game, putting the tying run on base and bringing up the winning run in Gary Sanchez. And Zach Britton ended up striking out Sanchez. But you know what, Paul? Britton was upset. He wanted to face Judge.
Yeah, it was surprising. And he looked up, and you don't even have to throw the pitches now. And you get a guy with that type of stuff. Sure, he wants a challenge to get out one of the better hitters.
You know, it's really a pick your poison situation. I think, although Showalter didn't elaborate after the game, Judge has just destroyed them all year. And although Gary might be a better overall hitter, he wanted to take his chance with Gary rather than with Judge. Two and one.
Talk about managing sometimes with just a gut feeling. You know, Buck Showalter saw too many good swings, too many runs scored, and too many home runs from Aaron Judge. Like enough. Somebody else is going to have to beat us.
Baltimore has jumped out to a 1-0 lead over the Red Sox. Bottom of the first at Camden Yards. High fly ball, deep right field. Going back Rosario on the track at the wall. See ya! A home run for Judge. His 44th of the year, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
Boy, it's such a good thing to see him drive the ball the other way. His power is so good when he stays through the ball. The fastball right there, but you see that bat head just continually go through the ball, and that's where he gets that leverage to just drive it. You hear that sound off of his bat, there's usually no question.
44th homer, 97th run batted in. Here's Sanchez. 1-0.
That's a replay without Michael's call. No see in that one.
Just that ball against the Dark Knight. So he leads the American League with 44 home runs, a 5-home run lead over the A's Chris Davis, and 6 over Joey Gallo and Justin Smoke. He has picked it up here in September after struggling in July and August. Two and two. And the pitch. Outside, 3-2. High fly ball, shallow center. Buxton is there to make the play. The second out. Now Santana usually gets soft contact. He's 4th in the American League in lowest average exit velocity, 85.4 miles per hour. CC's first. CC Sabathia is first, 84.1 miles per hour. But Judge's home run to right field, 108.9 miles per hour. Traveled 395 feet. Gregorius with a high fly ball, shallow left. Adrianza is there and puts it away for the final out. But Judge rules here in the first inning. The ruling is a home run. And when it lands, the Yankees have a 1-0 lead, or verdict. Today's conversation brought to you by Toyota. Prius Prime is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Who do you think will win the second American League wild card and why? The Twins or the Angels? Salty New Yorker said the Twins have a slightly easier schedule and their lineup is beginning to produce more. It's going to be tough to overtake. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius Prime to keep the conversation going. Polanco takes a ball 1-0 as we start the second inning. Yankees up 1-0.
You know, part of their scheduling, there was a lot of road games in the last 13, 14 games. They do have the Yankees here, and then they play Cleveland, which obviously everybody knows Cleveland. Then they have 6 or 7 against Detroit, who pretty much has checked out at this point. So, you know, the good and bad when you look at the Twins' schedule.
This is the start of an 11-day 3-city, 10-game road trip, so it's going to decide if they make the playoffs or not. That is lined into right field, a base hit. Polanco's going for 2. The throw from Judge is way high, but backing up is Frazier, so a leadoff double for Polanco.
Again, this is the type of hitters that you're going to get. This kind of cutting and slashing wherever it's pitched, inside out. Good speed. These guys just know how to play the game, and it's a lot like their manager. Paul Molitor was not a dead pull hitter. He was just a guy that made it very tough to pitch to.
Hall of Famer as a player and doing a great job as the manager of the Twins. There were managers that raved about him last year when he had a 103-loss team. They say you manage against him, he's on every play, he's a couple of innings ahead. You really have to think it through. Considered a very, very good game manager. Here's Eddie Rosario, and a strike. 21 years as a player, 3,319 hits. Won a world championship with Toronto and was the MVP, 7-time All-Star, and was named the Twins manager in November of 2014. And a Hall of Fame inductee. The 0-1. 0-2 on Rosario.
I see Garcia gets a little greedy here, now looking for the strikeout to try to keep from advancing the runner. And how do you get there? Do you bust him inside and then go back to the slider? Just stay off the plate away and hope for a swing and a miss.
It's a swing and a miss. 4th strikeout for Garcia.
Again, the slider away, intentionally thrown off the plate down. Good job by Sanchez. Moving over there, you see, kept it right in the middle of his body. First time Rosario saw that pitch in the count. That's very tough to be a lefty, be down 0-2 without seeing the breaking ball to that last pitch.
A strike to Eduardo Escobar. Chasing a pitch up in the zone, 0-2.
Well, Sanchez doing a good job of not pitching to one area. Down, away, up and in, up and away. We're seeing Sanchez can keep hitters off balance by just using all the quadrants of the strike zone, especially as much as he changes speeds.
Nubbed in front of the plate, and it was actually kicked by Escobar, so are they saying it's a foul ball?
Yeah,
I thought he kicked it in fair territory. Must have hit him before that too.
If he's in the batter's box though and it's unintentional. No, that didn't hit him.
No, I don't know why he's not out. It's an odd call. The 0-2. 1-2. Let's see this, Paul. Try to make sense of it for me.
From that angle, it almost looked like it went off Sanchez's glove. Did it? Did it go off his glove like a foul ball? But no.
No, that's a fair ball.
Fair ball.
That's amazing. One, two. No harm, no foul. He ends up striking out. Fifth strikeout for Garcia.
Garcia, not known as a strikeout artist, but boy, he's got some big ones so far, and most of them have been out of the strike zone with this breaking ball. Tight slider down and in. Good job by Sanchez blocking it, getting in good position. Sanchez looks like he's expecting that ball, and that's what catchers need to do. You know, you call for a pitch down and in. You have to expect that ball you might be blocking.
Here's Robbie Grossman. The DH takes a strike from Garcia. Garcia pitched for the Atlanta Braves, who I believe they're a game and a half out of second place in the NL East. Pitched for the Minnesota Twins and now for the Yankees. There's a chance if the Braves can finish second, he will get a playoff share from 3 teams.
Nice. A one-game playoff from Minnesota.
I don't know how they split it up. Ground ball to third. Nice hop for Frazier. Fires across the diamond. Nice stretch by Bird, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Yanks.
Joe Girardi's job is not always easy. Today he had to make the decision whether to use Chase Headley at DH or Matt Holliday. Both of those guys have good numbers against Irvin Santana. Holliday hitting .417 with 2 home runs, Headley batting .300. Joe Girardi mentioned Santana's slider and how it could be devastating at times. He likes the matchup with the left-handed bat of Headley more so than Holliday. Also mentioned, after he was pressed on it a little bit more, that he wishes he could put 10 guys in the lineup because today is a day he would do it, having to make that tough decision. But guys, it's a good problem to have. Joe Girardi has options both in the field, on the bench, and in the outfield.
Well, to go along with that .417 merit that Holliday has, there's a fly ball to left field. Adrianza will put it away. 2 home runs and 4 extra base hits out of the 5 hits he has. And you know, we've mentioned this a lot. There's always going to be somebody sitting who thinks they should be playing. These are not career bench players like Ronald Torreyes, who accepts his role. You've got yesterday, Ellsbury didn't start. Clint Frazier has always been a starter in his years in the minors. And when Aaron Hicks comes back, that becomes more of a problem. And now, because Headley's turned into such a really tough hitter, you've got to make that call between Headley, Frazier, and Holliday. Not easy. And you're not always going to be right.
No, that's the thing. I mean, you're going to go with your gut feeling. You're going to put the lineup out there every single day you feel that can win. For the most part, you're going to be right, but there are some days that you make the wrong decision. I think you would start to go with more of a veteran feel in these important days, which kind of moves Frazier back in the line a little bit. That's C Frazier I'm talking about.
Not T.
No, T Frazier's. He's doing a good job down there at third.
Well, you said this a couple of weeks ago. You're at the point of the season where, sorry if your feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Yankees lead 1-0 on the Judge home run to right field. That was in the first inning.
I told you Baltimore was going to go home after this long road trip and get real comfortable at home, and all of a sudden, second inning, they're up 3-0 over Boston.
Yep.
Which, with that pitching, isn't much, but yeah, have to wait and see.
Grounded to third. Escobar to Mauer. 2 away.
And if I could think of one thing you really want to get in order, it'd be Starlin Castro. He's such a big part of this order. I mean, he's a 300 hitter for most of the year. Right now, his mechanics just aren't right. And, it could take a couple days and be right back to where he was. But that's one guy you'd love to get fixed before this thing is all said and done.
Well, here is Ellsbury in September, a .526 on base percentage. That's best in the majors. He has turned his season around. Now, will the numbers end up where he envisioned them at the beginning of the year? No. But they look like they're going to end up a lot better than what they looked like a couple of months ago. Cargo is next. Joey Votto always has a good on-base percentage. Reddick, and as Drupal Cabrera of the Mets. That's in September, on-base percentage. His double yesterday in the 9th inning against Britain made Showalter make that decision.
I'll tell you what, that was impressive and bad. Coming off the bench, lefty off Britain. Another catcher's interference for Ellsbury. He's good at that too.
31 times it's happened now, and that extends his major league record.
Does that count on your on-base percentage? It does, right?
The catcher's interference is on base percentage? I don't think so, because it's an error.
Get to work, James. We're just trying to give you something to toil over there.
So, catcher's interference E2. It counts as a plate appearance, not as an at-bat. So on-base percentage then goes, okay, it's the same. Okay. Snap throw to first, and Ellsbury's back. Now it's 4-0 Baltimore.
See that? Boys are hot now. Gotta remember, Boston came back and they won that game. Was it 14 or 15 innings? You know, every once in a couple days later, that starts taking effect on you. So wait and see what happens in the series there. If you're out on this field and you're one of the Yankees, you got to worry what happens, you know, on this field right here. Two-run double for Austin Hayes, and remember, he was really swinging the bat well. Young kid who came up with huge numbers from AAA. Really left here, swinging the bat well.
And Machado with a sac fly. And that's Doug Fister. So 3-1 on Todd Frazier.
Good wheels at first. Off to the races. Got caught in the middle there. A false break over there. Santana kind of quick pitched him. He going now. Wow, as a runner, you know after your first or second step, I don't have a good jump, and you know, if you're a veteran player, you've got that switch where you can turn it off and just get back.
Runner goes. Grounded in the hole, a base hit for Frazier, as Ellsbury will move to third. Throw comes into second.
Well, again, when you got runners in motion, you put the ball in motion, good things happen. If you'll watch Ellsbury, he gets a good read. Obviously, the ball's in front of him. He almost was a couple steps from circling third as he threw the ball to second and going home. Brought to you by Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer.
That's going to bring up Greg Bird. Yankees lead 1-0, looking for more. First and third, 2 men out. Want to know? Two and one.
You know, Greg Berg, to me, all of a sudden, I could see Greg Berg as a guy that hits a lot of home runs. I didn't realize he kind of elevates the ball, a lot of high fly balls, very patient. Much bigger guy than I thought he was, too, when you get up close to him. And he's able to use his legs and really drive the ball.
High fly ball down the right field line. Foul. Boy, would you have looked good if that went out.
Wow.
Oh.
I was trying to blow it over there. It didn't work.
Right on the Emmy reel.
They were last night. We'd have to wait all year, though.
No, ours is at a different time.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
When do we get to walk the red carpet with them and stuff?
That would be great, yeah. Yeah, you and Nev. Bird had 2 runs off Santana August 19th of 2015. And it was that date where Santana called Yankee Stadium, quote, a joke. One home run was 392 feet. I don't know how the other one at 428 feet is a joke.
Not too many ballparks hold 428.
No.
Huh?
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there.
Central.
You know what? Yeah. Central Park. You're talking about the beer leagues at Central Park. They actually have those there?
Oh, yeah.
Softball leagues? That'd be pretty cool.
If I put a yes team together, you come in to play next year?
Yeah, we already had a yes team, remember?
That's right, a long time ago.
Bob Lorenz snapped on air.
That's right.
Beating up the wire. Got somebody else finds it fun.
And then we graduated to a yoga team.
Yeah. That's how far we've come.
That's going to release Frazier at first. 3-2, 2 outs. Ellsbury stays put at third. Pitch. Grounded foul.
Bird has had some pitches, some tough pitches. He's fouled off a couple. Everything's been in. I think that Santana's going to try to take some a little bit off or throw that backdoor slider.
Frazier will go. 3-2. Strike 3. Bird down looking. No runs, a hit. 1 error and 2 men left on base. We go to the third. Report brought to you by Montefiore during more in state-of-the-art healthcare. They're doing this all without Miguel Sano, who's outstanding. 267, 28 home runs, 77 ribbies. He was placed on the 10-day DL August 21st with a left shin stress reaction. He's hoping to get back soon, but they're running out of time.
Yeah, you need at bats. I mean, you know, you only got so many people you can carry on a roster. You hate to carry a guy that you're not sure of, obviously, for one-game playoff. But, he was such a big part of their offense until they fouled that ball off his shin.
Castro fouls it off.
A couple high strikes called tonight. That last pitch to Bird, that pitch right there. James and I were talking. Eric Cooper, known as one of the pitcher-friendly umpires, especially up in the strike zone. So that plays out throughout the game.
Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Garcia, his 6th.
Garcia out there with a little attitude tonight. Obviously came from the Twins, but also you remember how his last outing ended. Not real happy with Joe Girardi taking him out early, but again, another breaking ball outside the strike zone. Pitch ahead, get hitters to fish. I mean, that's the game plan for Jaime Garcia.
Here's Adrianza.
It's like a tongue twister, Michael. That one worries me when I look at it.
Yeah, you don't say that one. Just point to me.
Left fielder. Number 16.
Grounded to short. And Gregorius makes the play for the 2nd out. Well, this is what Paul's talking about. 1 out away from qualifying for a win, and doesn't even look at Girardi. And then Girardi talks from the dugout, essentially saying, listen, you can hate my guts. That's fine, but I just want to explain what I did and why I did it. I don't think it still made Garcia too happy. And later on in the game, he ticked off Dylan Betances.
You know, Garcia's still looking for his first win as a Yankee. That's, you know, one that he wants to take care of coming over here in a trade. I love that pitch. Just that kind of get me over curveball, not the strikeout curveball, just early in the count. Most hitters will take it. You're so programmed to look fastball on your first pitch.
Count 0-2 on Dozier. Since the 2016 All-Star game, 46 homers for Dozier in the 2nd half of the season, more than anybody in baseball. Not that time, as he goes down looking. And Garcia is absolutely dealing. 7 strikeouts in 3 innings. Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Indians clinch the AL Central. Astros clinch the AL West. Nationals clinch the NL East. And the Dodgers have clinched the playoff berth, not quite the NL West just yet. Brett Gardner will lead off, and he takes a strike from Santana. Yankees lead 1-0 on the Judge solo home run in the first inning. Of course, it's solo, they lead 1-0.
See Harper's comment on whether he's going to be ready for the playoffs?
Hoping?
Hope so.
Yeah. So does Dusty.
Oh, wow.
You know, the strangest thing about this Twins team is that they unloaded at the trade deadline. They gave up, essentially. They did what the Yankees did last year. They traded their closer, Kinsler, to the Nationals. They traded Garcia to the Yankees after acquiring him because they thought they were in it. But then one bad week, they said, okay, that's it. And since the trades, they've played better, which is what happened to the Yankees last year.
They got Big Sexy now, though.
Yes, they do. We'll see him Wednesday. Since August 6th, so a little less than a week after the trade deadline, they have the second best record in the American League, 26-15. The Yankees have the fourth best record.
Wow.
Look at the spot, a jumping rope.
Not much reaction time. I've said before, a lot of times the ball, it hooks or slices. So your natural reaction, get out of the way. Well, it's coming at you. It follows you.
Wow. Two. Base hit past the diving Mauer and into right field. Gardner with a leadoff single.
Sinker ball, a lot of ground balls, but he finds a hole.
Here's Aaron Judge.
Almost guarantee a slider right here, Michael. Fastball was a home run last time. Pitchers don't like to back up what just got taken out of the yard. Looking back in the first inning, boom.
Guaranteed it, although the ball gets away from Castro as Gardner advances to second.
Yeah, good read by Gardner. You anticipate balls in the dirt. You don't have to wait to react. You anticipate it being in the dirt, and immediately it's going to be too hard of a play to catcher, even in front of him, to pick it up and make a good throw.
So with his home run in the first inning, Judge has now gone deep against every AL team except for the Royals. And the Yankees have one more game with the Royals. It's a makeup game of a rain out, and that'll be a week from tonight. A breaking ball strike. 1-2. Orioles now lead the Red Sox 5-0. They've knocked Fister out of the game. Judge swings and misses, one away.
A lot of spinning breaking balls in that at bat. I mean, this are the things that he's going to learn. You say, is he going to be better? Is he going to get better? He's going to be better at things like this. Learning, you know, when you take a guy deep on a fastball, chances are next time up, you know, you have to look in a different area, different pitch. And, you know, these are just the things that you're going to learn throughout the course of your career.
Sanchez nubs one foul. Kick save by Gregorius in the on-deck circle. One and one.
Every once in a while he does, you know, speed up his delivery, kind of quick pitch, just to keep the base runner honest. I tell you, sometimes it can fool you as a hitter too.
Grounded softly up the middle. Polanco will get Sanchez as Gardner moves to third. Bring up D.D. Gregorius. That's right. Gregorius with a fly ball to left. That was in the first. We're in the bottom of the third. It's 1-0 Yankees over the Twins. First game of a 3-game set. A possible preview of an American League wild card game, where the Yankees certainly have their sights set higher, looking to catch the Red Sox to win the AL East. 0-2.
This is where, as a left-handed hitter, you kind of just stare out at that hole in the shortstop. It's a big hole between shortstop and third, and you just visualize yourself hitting the ball in here. You know, a base hit to left field scores that run. Santana, I mean, his bread and butter, other than his slider, is that sinker away. Didi's had 2 pitches away. Up and in, and again, you know, as a hitter, you've got to be, you know, you go up there with an idea. Okay, I'm going to take this sinker away at the first pitch. You can't change from pitch to pitch. You have to stick with that theory the whole way back.
1-2. Just missed outside. The pitch. Foul back to the screen. Still 2-2.
Santana's straight 4-seam fastball there at 96 up in the strike zone. Bit different. That's a 4-seam fastball. Didi right on it. Just under it a little bit.
Swing and a miss. Gregorius down on strikes. No runs a hit, no errors. One man left on third base. We go to the fourth. 1-0 Yanks. MLB.tv every night on every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to AT Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Excited youngsters here at the Yankee game on this Monday evening in the Bronx. Audi scoreboard, 1-0 Yankees on the Judge first inning home run. Joe Mauer will lead it off. 7 strikeouts for Jaime Garcia, and there's a strike. Mauer, one of the strikeout victims. 7 strikeouts and no walks over the first 3 innings.
Well, he's really been ahead of the hitters, Michael, and that's why the strikeouts are coming, because he can expand the strike zone. But some of his previous starts where he's really battling to get back into the count. Totally different pitcher when he's ahead.
Mauer, a 3-time batting champion. He won in 2006, 2008, 2009. Local boy, playing his entire career at home. The 0-2. Coming up on free agency, they inked him to a long-term big money deal, probably too big for that market, but how do you let Joe Mauer get away?
Your hometown guy,
yeah. And he was probably of greater value doing what he did as a catcher than as a first baseman. But they realized if they wanted him to be a productive player, they wanted to continue to catch him, where he was a Gold Glove catcher. And also what hurt him, Paul, he had power in the Metrodome. He doesn't have power in Target Field.
Totally different ballpark. Been to that ballpark. You got
nice.
Rave reviews.
Yeah, it's nice. Beautiful. I would like to see at some point the Twins go deep in the postseason and see how they do with frostbite. Fly ball deep to left field. On the run toward the line is Gardner. Can't make the play.
A smart way to go into the wall. Your feet and your knee will give a little bit instead of just banging into it with your shoulder.
Yeah, that's the only knock on that place in Minneapolis. It's an outdoor stadium. It was too expensive to build a retractable roof. Metrodome obviously was played under the dome. 2-2. And I remember as a newspaper writer, I covered both World Series in Minnesota in '87 and '91, and it was freezing toward the end of October.
I'll tell you one thing, the Metrodome was deafening. Remember how loud the Metrodome was? I mean, you could hear thunderstorms and everything else. You see, they go on the road and they take their hoodies with them.
Boston has scored a run, so Orioles lead 5-1, top of the fourth.
Buck will be in the bullpen here soon. Let's see.
Two and 8, the Orioles were on a 10-game road trip. The Twins want to avoid that. This road trip will decide their season. Starting here with the Yankees, 2-2. Grounded to second, down on one knee. Castro straightens and gets Mauer. That'll bring up Buxton, and it brings us to the Jeep Hitter Scouting Report.
Well, it has been a major breaker at .321 batting average and 11 home runs since August. 218 before that. Blazing speed, unbelievable speed. Michael, you talked about it. 26 for 27 in stolen bases, and a spectacular center fielder. And speed has a lot to do with that. So, a lot of good things ahead. Byron Buxton.
All right, now, Paul, you're going to have to put this in layman's terms and help me through it. His season turned around when he got rid of a high leg kick, where he started to hit like his manager hit during his Hall of Fame career, no stride whatsoever. Why would the leg kick be such a negative for a guy?
Well, I mean, there's a few things that happen in a leg kick, and you use it for balance, and it can either help you or hurt you. And right here, see, he's using a slight leg kick, but it's just a weight transfer, and that's what a leg kick does. But if you don't have it down and you're kind of learning on the job, you have a tendency for a ton of movement at the plate. And if you're not used to it, it's kind of an off-season project. And he's gone to a much simpler thing of just kind of spreading out and forcing his weight back, and it just gives him more time. And you know, the leg kick will do that, and I would imagine if you watch him next year, the year after, he'll be back to it. But to learn at the major league level when you're struggling, it's very hard.
That's exactly what Molitor said. He said, you know what, he could stay like this as long as he wants. He said, or he can get back to it at a time when he feels more comfortable doing it. He said, but if he has success like this.
Yeah. And he's a guy with that type of speed that does not have to generate, you know, 30 home run power. I mean, it's about putting the ball in play and scoring runs with this type of speed.
Swing and a miss. Buxton down on strikes. Second time he strikes out against Garcia. His 8th strikeout of the game, Garcia.
Boy, by far the best he's thrown, and you just see another breaking ball, a sharp breaking ball, just outside the strike zone. But by being ahead in the count, Garcia has been able to get a lot of swings and misses with that short little slider or breaking ball. Maybe Joe Girardi lit a fire under him, huh?
Could be. This is a guy, you know, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He wants to continue to play baseball. Pitches high to Jorge Polanco. Great month of August for Polanco. And you see the breakdown: 50 pitches, 36 strikes. Polanco at .373 in August. 6 home runs, 23 ribbies, and 27 games played. 2-0. There's a strike. 2-1.
There's that high strike. Polanco's questioning Eric Cooper.
now the count is 2-2. Each inning, he's had at least 2 strikeouts. He has 1 strikeout here in the 4th, 8 on the game, no walks. Struck out the side in the 1st inning. Three and 2. Swing and a miss. 9 strikeouts in 4 innings for the veteran Jaime Garcia. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 1-0. By clean, crisp Coors Light. These teams have met before in the playoffs and never really has been good for the Twins. In 2003, Yankees won the ALDS 3-1. Same thing in 2004. Same thing in 2009, although they swept. In 2010, also swept. 12-2 combined record against the Twins. Chase Headley takes up and away, 1-0. Audi scoreboard 1-0 Yankees. So 9 strikeouts for Garcia. That's a season high for him. And it's just through 4 innings. Grounded to short. Polanco. 1 away. So far, the Aaron Judge home run has held up as the Yankees lead 1-0. So here's Castro. Starlin 4 for his last 30 after he grounded to third in the 2nd. And a strike. Popped up. Shallow center. Polanco back. He's there to make the play. Hey, make sure you're at Yankee Stadium tomorrow night when the first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees t-shirt courtesy of Sato. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
Like a good workout tee for you, Michael.
Too bad. There's Ellsbury. He reached on a catcher's interference in the second inning. One and one. Savvy veteran, 13 seasons in the big leagues, 34 years old. And pitching well here on a Monday night, first game of a 3-game set. Now there's always a fear if these two teams meet in the 1-game wild card. Is Santana going to start? It'll be either Santana or Berrios who will start tomorrow. Up the middle, a base hit. So I'm wondering, Paul, the Twins can't afford to skip people because they've got to get that wild card. Is he giving away secrets right now? I mean, they've seen him before.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy that was in Anaheim. You faced him before, and you know, you're weeks away from a 1-game playoff. You're more thinking about getting in that playoff, like you said, and you know, he has not had career numbers off New York, great numbers, but he's got 15 wins this year. He's pitched very well for the Twins.
Now the Yankees, it looks like, although they could change their mind, that they will not pitch Severino on Wednesday. Runner goes, throw to second, stolen base for Ellsbury. He got a good jump and made it by plenty.
Yeah, much better timing off of that. He kind of guessed with Santana. Good jump. Castro's kind of an average thrower at 27%. But easily in there. Boy, this just adds so much. When Ellsbury's running and hitting, and it just adds so much to this offense.
Ellsbury's now stolen 20 in 22 attempts.
Wow.
So that's 91%. Only Buxton at 96% and Lorenzo Cain at 92. Steal at a better clip in the majors. Minimum of 20 attempts. So 1-1 on Todd Frazier. There's Severino, so he has not pitched against the Twins this year. So the Yankees are not in his career, actually. So the Yankees are actually not as much up against the gun as the Twins to get in. So they can afford to maneuver their rotation just a bit. So if it is Severino, boom, that's the first time they see him. But I guess with the Twins, they're not really hiding much of Santana.
No, I mean, it's just, and who's to say, you know, this stuff is the same one day as it is the next. It's just, that's really, really splitting hairs when you start doing that. But, you know, Joe Girardi has an option because he's basically got 6 guys that can run out there.
Popped up shallow right field. And the catch is made by Rosario to end the inning. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We will go to the 5th. League East standings. So the Red Sox have that 3-game lead over the Yankees, and they have obviously the advantage of the season winding down, so they have to make up some ground in a hurry. Starting today, it's 2 weeks left in the regular season. GMC scoreboard. Yankees lead 1-0 as we go to the 5th. Eddie Rosario will lead off. 9 strikeouts and no walks for Jaime Garcia. Breaking ball with absolutely no bite, 1-0. Rosario, Escobar, and Grossman here in the 5th for the Twins. The 1-0. A strike on the outside corner, 1-1. By the way, that stolen base by Ellsbury is 100th stolen base as a Yankee. As we mentioned, his 20th of this season.
Really the first big long count. He's been in a 3-1 leadoff hitter. Leadoff hitter right here with power too. 26 home runs.
Up the middle and off the glove of a diving Gregorius, and it trickles into right field. So a base hit for Rosario.
Well, Didi gave it an effort. Ball hit hard up the middle. 3-1 count. He went after him. Got a high hop off the mound, which puts kind of top spin on it, so that first hop is really going to take off. And yes, Mo, this looks like a tough play.
You know, we heard Bob Lorenz during the update, Paul, say that Molitor had Pedroia had to leave the game. Foul ball off his face. Do some guys leaving a game have more an effect because they are a leader on the team than other guys do?
Not about leaving a game, but when they're out of the lineup, for sure.
Right.
Pedroia is kind of like the engine of that team when he's in there and he's playing well. Remember, he came back here and it seemed like he was in every play of the game, just coming off the disabled list. Made plays, got hits. He is just, you know, a solid player that makes that team much, much better.
Line to right field. It's a base hit for Escobar. Rosario is going to go to third, and the throw is late. So first and third and nobody out for the Twins.
Rosario hesitated on that. I don't know why, but he ends up at third anyway. Joe Girardi on the phone quick. Well, what a great piece of hitting. Man on first base to hit behind in the hole. That one-run lead in big-time jeopardy now. First and third, nobody out.
So just like that, coming into this inning, allowing 1 hit and striking out 9. Now he's given up 2 hits to open the inning, first and third, and nobody out for Robbie Grossman. Yankees playing back for the double play.
There's actually an error on Aaron Judge out there. I think he bobbled the ball. Rosario an opportunity. That's why he had hesitated at second.
Grounded and grabbed there by Frazier. There's one. No return throw. The game is tied as Rosario scores. Nice play by Frazier from keep it from being even a bigger inning. And it's a 1-1 game.
No doubt about it, Michael. This ball's headed for left field. Frazier almost ends up turning a double play on it. Ball to his left. He stabs it. Quick transfer. He just got the ball behind Castro where he was not able to try to turn the double play.
Chad Green up in the Yankee bullpen. 1-1 game here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's Jason Castro.
Well,
1-0.
So far, Gary Sanchez has had a great defensive game behind home plate. You know, he's been in position, he's blocked the balls. There has been a lot said, and you see this change up here, but everything is in good shape there. Ball's out in front.
Inside, 2-0.
Now this is actually a good visit. Sanchez, it just looks like Garcia's getting in a little rush right here, kind of frustrated.
Two and 0. Rip foul.
If you're going to go in on these lefties, especially in Yankee Stadium, you got to make sure you get it in. Ball inside just enough where he has to pull the ball foul.
Low throw. Bird fields. See if they can turn two. There's one. And Castro hardly can run. And they turn to 4-6-3. 1 run, 2 hits, and nobody left on base. We're halfway through. It's a 1-1 game. Boston Market. Get a whole rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal. By Buick. Visit tristatebuick.com for great lease offers. And by People's United Bank NA. Keep business at hand with mobile cash management. That run in the top of the fifth inning unearned because of the error by Judge that allowed the runner to get the third. Because if he doesn't get the third, the way the rest of the inning played out, he doesn't score. GMC scoreboard 1-1 game. It counts on the scoreboard, though, as we go to the bottom of the fifth.
Those summer flowers out there in Monument Park, better enjoy it, right, Michael? It's about over with, right?
Pretty close.
Audrey, when is it? When's officially summer over? I know. 21st?
There's Greg Bird. That one is ripped into right center field, but right there is Rosario. That one almost ate him up. He puts it away for the first out.
Well, that's that area in right center field where you get a hanging line drive and it goes right in the lights. A scary feeling. Look, you kind of shade it and you just kind of stab at it. Summer's over on the 22nd this year, Michael.
Enjoy it while you can. Here's Brett Gardner. Gardner is 1 for 2. Two and 0 on Gardner. Bottom of the fifth, first game of a 3-game set. Could be a playoff preview. Yankees against the Twins. Push bunt toward third. A good bunt. And it is a base hit for Gardner.
You can't do it much better than that. Brett Gardner lays it down for a base hit. Escobar did everything he possibly could. Type of speed, and that's just a perfect bunt. No jabbing at it, anything. Just let the ball hit the bat, kind of deadens it just enough. Escobar barehanded it, did everything perfect. Just not enough time. Again, as Ellsbury did earlier, if you can get a time and kind of a rhythm with Santana, did a good jump, but every once in a while he will quick step you.
But do you even want to go with Judge at the plate?
Well, as soon as I said that the other day, Gardner did steal a base,
right,
and Judge ended up in walking. But there are times where you want to give the big fella swings, but in a tie game you want to score runs. Right now he's getting so many breaking balls that it kind of makes you want to run because it's a good pitch to hit on, or a good pitch to run on.
And then if they decide to pitch around him, then you have Gary Sanchez with a runner in scoring position. Judge's home run in the first inning to right center. The only run for the Yankees. They have 5 hits. They've left 4 runners on. Top of the 5th inning in Baltimore. The Orioles lead the Red Sox 6-2. 1-1. That would have been a good one to go on.
You could have stole second on that, huh?
David Robertson up.
Really see Santana giving in here with the fastball to Judge. He's had so much success with his slider.
Runner goes. And a stolen base for Gardner.
Well, Brett Gardner did get the slider. Good pitch to run, a little off-speed pitch, and he stole it on Santana. Good jump. And Ellsbury both had good reads. Good job by Judge to take the pitch.
Three-one. Foul the back, 3-2.
It looks like he was sitting on that slider there. That ball was just a little bit away. Obviously, Santana is just not going to give in. Another breaking ball. Just a little too far out.
High fly ball, center field. Buxton toward right center, makes the play. Tagging is Gardner. Here's the throw. He's in there. Buxton has a very good arm.
Well, he certainly does. Brett Gardner's had a lot of running this inning. Tell you what, Aaron Judge had a great swing at this breaking ball, and he just got under it and popped it straight up. Gardner in there easily, but still, Buxton, you can just tell what he does in the outfield. A lot of things you just can't teach. He's just a natural gifted athlete out there.
Boston creeping closer at 6-4 now, top of the 5th inning. Orioles lead. Pitch to Gary Sanchez is a strike, 0-1. Santana, you can see, a savvy veteran. He is not going to give these guys anything out over the plate. One. Right back to Santana. And that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. 5 in the books here at the stadium. It's 1-1 on yes. With the Twins, coverage starts at 6 with Abbey batting practice today and the Chevy Yankees pregame. Then we'll call the Game 2 action right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Kind of a surprise to see Garcia back out there, Michael?
No. No. I think, first guy gets on, he'll be out as Robertson continues to throw. There's a strike. Dozier is on deck.
A lot of home runs on deck. 42 last year, over 30 this year. Wow, good change up there. Again, Garcia knows he's pitching for his life. He's got to be perfect to get through this inning.
One and two. Well, you know these numbers. We've given them to you chapter and verse. First time through the order, then the average goes up second time and then third time. So after Adrianza, it's the third time through. Just got a piece to stay alive. Joe also knows that Dozier is 2 for 7 off Robertson. Maurer is 2 for 11 off Robertson. The 1-2. It'll be interesting to see how Robertson performs tonight, because when he pitched against the Orioles, he did not look sharp at all following the 2 2/3 inning outing at Citi Field against the Rays. Two. Swing and a foul ball.
Just can't quite put him away. Adrianza is one of those young hitters that has this, will give you a tough at bat, not over swinging, just trying to put the ball in play.
Fly ball into left field. On the run is Gardner, and he makes the play for the first out. Put a little more pressure on the Yankees. Boston's now gone up 7-6 in the top of the 5th inning, so that big 6-1 Oriole lead is gone.
Yeah, Baltimore, there's no doubt about it. Their offense can score runs, but boy, it's just about how many you can score, because you're going to have to outscore teams, because your pitching just at this point does not hold anybody.
Pitch to Dozier inside 1-0.
You're starting to see it. Garcia starting not struggle, but the pitches aren't as sharp, and he's behind in some counts. That's if you're Joe Girardi, Larry Rothschild, you start to get just a little bit nervous, especially in a 1-1 game.
Two-0. 2-1.
See how relaxed he looked at the beginning of this inning, Michael? Now you're starting to pace a little bit, rock one way or the other. Swing and a miss there, and he kind of changed his arm angle on a off-speed pitch. Went down 3/4 on him.
2-2. 3-2. Garcia knows this is batter to batter that he stays in there.
I agree with you, Michael. You lose a hitter, you know you're out of the game, that you can't give in and just challenge people.
Ground ball is short. They get Dozier for the second out. 9 strikeouts tonight. Let's take a look.
Well, you're going to see a lot of them swing and misses on a breaking ball, and he's had a good one, and it's all been because he's been able to stay ahead in the count early. A lot of swing and misses late with a lot of curveballs outside the strike zone. Good fastball there. Definitely the best stuff he's had since he's been in the pinstripes.
Here's Joe Mauer, the veteran first baseman, 0 for 2 against Jaime Garcia. We're in the 6th inning, 1-1. Strike. One and one. Robertson pretty much a spectator over the last couple of minutes. He's warmed up.
He pretty much knows if anybody gets on, he's in, so it's not kind of an uncertainty. You know, if he gets through this, fine. If not, I'm in.
Line drive and a base hit to right field from Mauer. Judge will get it in, a 2-out single for Mauer. And that is going to do it for Garcia with Byron Buxton due up. Joe signals. And I think this time the exchange should be a little bit warmer. Wasn't Christmas at the Girardis, but obviously a good job by Garcia, and the crowd gives him a nice hand. So the Yankees will go to the bullpen. Robertson against Buxton when we get back. 1-1 game in the 6th. Yes, it's brought to you in part by Delta. We fly to the most destinations from New York City to get you where you're going. Delta, keep climbing. and by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Outstanding job by Jaime Garcia, giving the Yankees 5 2/3. Runner on first base, 2 outs here in the 6th. They turn it over to Robertson to face Buxton, the number 3 hitter in the Twins order. And he tries to bunt and misses. 0-1. Five 2/3, 4 hits. Did not allow an earned run. Didn't walk a batter. And struck out 9. He really pitched a very good game. One and one. One and two.
Robertson has the ability as a pitcher to, it looks like he always throws what the hitter does not expect. And he throws the majority of breaking balls and cutters, but every once in a while he'll throw a fastball as he did there. It's because the hitter's not expecting it in that count.
1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Buxton has struck out 3 times, and Robertson gets the final out of the 6th. No runs a hit and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Tips off, and yes, is your home for all the Brooklyn Nets action, including the debut of dynamic point guard D'Angelo Russell. Don't miss the excitement of the Nets on Yes, returning Sunday, October 8th with a preseason game against the Knicks. Only on Yes. All right, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at the stadium. It's a 1-1 game, Yankees and the Twins. First game of a 3-game set. Thursday's an off day for the Yankees, and then they make their final road trip of the regular season. Just a 3-game stop in Toronto, and they finish off with 7 at Yankee Stadium next week. There's Didi Gregorius. Pitches high, 1-0. Along with Paul O'Neill and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael Kay, and we thank you for spending part of your Monday evening with us. Bottom of the 6th inning, 1-1 game. High fly ball, center field. Buxton makes the play, 1 away. in the second, third, and fifth. The Yankees left the runner on third base. They've left 5 on base so far tonight. Pinch hitting appearance yesterday for Headley. He snapped his 14-game hitting streak. And he's 0 for 2 tonight against Santana.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I was Zach Britton in the shadows.
One. Hit sharply and off the glove of a diving Dozier, and it trickles into right center field. Buxton's right there, and a base hit for Headley.
And Chase Headley, another good at bat. Waited him out, got a good pitch to hit. Just off Dozier's glove. Amazing when it hits that heel, Michael. It never goes into the glove, just ricochets out. Really would love to see Castro try to use the right side of the infield here with that hole on first base and really keep that front shoulder and hip in there. It's been his struggle lately, is pulling off everything. Well, to try to hit that hole, you got to stay in there.
Base hit to left field.
Much better swing, good slider right there, and he waited on it. By staying in there, see if he can cover that slider, even though he's out ahead a little bit. His weight a little bit over the top of the plate now, where he can drive that ball.
Trevor Hildenberger getting ready for the Twins. Pedro Alvarez with a home run for the Orioles. It's now 7-7, bottom of the fifth. That one gets away from Castro, and the runners move up. Headley to third, Castro to second.
Boy, what a big play for the Yankees here. Now you've got an opportunity to fly ball, score a run. Slider in the dirt and just took off his arm. Not much you can do if you're Castro. Infield in, they know in a close game they'll walk in here too.
So Ellsbury reached on a catcher's interference in the second, singled to center and stole a bag in the fourth. Now intentionally walked here in the sixth to load the bases for Todd Frazier. Infield halfway. That one's fouled back. So shortstop and second halfway between the infield and outfield grass. So they're kind of hedging their bet. And Mauer a bit behind the grass at first. And Escobar is behind third base.
Well, you don't know how this at bat's going to end up. But boy, Todd Frazier had a good pitch to hit right out of the gate. Fouled it off.
1-1. His career with the bases loaded, a .224 average this season, 1 for 13. Fly ball. Buxton has a good arm tagging his Headley. The catch is made. Here's the throw. Not in time. A sac fly for Frazier, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
Well, Frazier got the job done. Just got it deep enough. Headley, the ball was off target. Slid in safely. Big run for the Yankees. Set up by that wild pitch. See, Buxton gets rid of the ball quick. It's just off target a little bit. Still think Headley probably would have been in there.
Dejection by Santana.
Yeah, and that's not dejection on Buxton's part. That's dejection that he missed with that slider just enough where Todd Frazier could get good wood on it.
First and second now, 2 outs. Frazier now has 14 ribbies. They appeal at third. They say that Headley left after the catch was made. Frazier has 14 ribbies in his last 13 games for the Yankees. And here comes Paul Molitor. And he's going to take the ball, signal to the bullpen. So that will do it for Santana. He leaves runners on first and second. 2 outs in the 6th. Twins are trailing 2-1. Violence Awareness Month, and Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. We support their vision of creating a world in which domestic violence is not tolerated and where victims and survivors are supported and empowered. Find out how you can join the conversation by visiting foxsportsupports.com. Well, that'll do it for Irvin Santana. Both starters went 5 2/3 innings. 7 hits and 2 runs. The runners on base are his responsibility. And 3 strikeouts. He threw 96 pitches. So Trevor Hildenberger, good numbers, takes over. This will be his 33rd game. And he faces Greg Bird. Castro's at second. Ellsbury is at first. 0-1.
76 right there. That sidearm delivery kind of jumping at you and then taking a lot off.
Routed to first. Mauer beats Bird to the bag, so Hildenberger comes on and hits out of further trouble. But the Yankees take the lead, 1 run on 2 hits, 2 men left. We go to the 7th. Authority of the New York Yankees, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So a sac fly for Frazier gives the Yankees a 2-1 lead on the Cadillac scoreboard as we go to the 7th inning. Robertson struck out Buxton for the final out of the 6th, and now faced the cleanup hitter Jorge Polanco. Polanco was 1 for 2 against Jaime Garcia. And a strike. The 0-1. Third base umpire Chad Fairchild said he did check his swing. 1-1. So for the Yankees, the home run by Judge in the first is 44th of the year. And then the sac fly by Frazier in the 6th, that's their 2 runs. And Grossman with a ground ball. They couldn't turn 2 on. That's the RBI that drove in the run for the Twins in the 5th against Jaime Garcia. And that followed an error in the outfield by Aaron Judge, allowing Rosario to advance from 2nd to 3rd, making that run unearned. So they shift for Polanco. Frazier's on the right side. 1-2. Grounded to Frazier. 1 away.
Indecision over there in the shift, and you see Frazier taking charge. I got it. Oh, cut in front. You see an easy play, but watch kind of the confusion between 2 infielders. I'll take it. You take it. Well, nope, I got it.
Orioles have now taken an 8-7 lead over the Red Sox, top of the 6th inning, and you got a feeling that that's not going to be the final score.
They're about halfway done. 15 runs between them.
Rosario takes low, 1-0.
Rosario kind of out of nowhere. 26 home runs, more than These are the 2 years combined in the major leagues. Once in a while it just shows up, huh, Mike?
Absolutely. One count on Rosario. He has scored the Twins' only run. Struck out and single. And that got a piece of Sanchez.
I think that actually might have, right off his thumb, might have been the bat. It's a cutter down and in. Let's see if it was the bat or the ball. Yeah, it was the ball right off the wrist bone there. Ouch. Little cut fastball. Nothing you can do. They start hitting on stuff when it hurts anyway. That hurts, right?
Can't feel too good. So they squeeze it where they think it hurts.
That's right. So Stevie used to have that cold stuff. Like, let's get going. I mean, the longer we wait, the more it starts hurting. Let's go. Thing here is, as it gets you in the forearm or it gets you up towards the elbow, you kind of lose feeling in your hand where you can't throw or grip the glove. Charlie want to be a catcher, Michael?
Looks like he likes to throw the ball.
Likes to throw it, not catch it. Likes to throw it, have you chase it.
Pretty much.
My kids were always great at that. Home run derby, I threw, they hit it, I chased it.
Good dad. The 1-2. Still 1-2. That still hurts.
Yeah, you see that tattoo's got a little red mark on it. It was from a little cut fastball that was fouled right into it.
One, two. 2-2. You don't see them spray that stuff that they used to spray when you play.
Spray.
Ethyl chloride.
The cold spray.
Yeah. Two. Swing and a miss. It gets past Sanchez. And he makes the throw to Bird to get Rosario. Let's go back to Bob Lorenz. He has an update. What's going on, Bob? Thank you, Bob. Bob and company will be all over that. As we continue, here's Escobar. 1 for 2. Both of those at bats against Garcia. Fly ball. Left field. Reaching up and grabbing it is Gardner, and that will do it here in the 7th as Robertson works a 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead the Twins 2-1, but we'll stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will you please rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest who is joined by his family. United States Army Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence Maffetone from Freeport, New York, who served in World War II. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and your service to our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Summary here brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Yankees lead 2-1, 2-7-1, leading 1-4-1. Urban Santana, 5 2/3. Jaime Garcia, the guys just spoke about, he was outstanding. Aaron Judge, a solo home run for the Yankees. That was in the first inning, and Todd Frazier sac fly. That's the scoring for the Yanks. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Dylan Betances getting ready. Brett Gardner will lead off against Hildenberger.
Not a lot of offensive highlights tonight, Michael. Well-pitched game on both sides, both starting pitchers.
Look up, the Phillies lead the Dodgers 4-2, Paul, and that game doesn't really mean that much. The Dodgers are trying to clinch the West, which they will eventually do, but Clayton Kershaw gave up a grand slam in that game. First ever in his career.
First ever grand slam?
And that's what makes the stat about Jim Palmer all the more amazing. Never in his career did he give up a grand slam. Taylor Rogers is up. And a strike to Gardner. There's a base hit for Gardner. That's his 3rd hit of the night.
Well, Brett Gardner's back to the way Brett Gardner should be hitting. Line to line, line drives, ground balls. Much better look at this sidearm delivery from the left side. Lace it right up the middle. This time up, base hit, stolen base. Yankees played another run here. Boy, it'd be a big one.
They plan to pull, obviously.
Boy, other than the home run, which was a fastball, you've seen nothing but breaking balls to Aaron Judge since. And another.
An announced crowd of 30,425 here at the stadium. Two-one Yankees looking for more. Hildenberger, long set, finally steps off. You can see the Yankees really want to run against Castro. That's their game plan coming in.
Mentioned in Castro, 27% of runners thrown out, which is a little below average, but he's given up two stolen bases already to this point.
Gardner inches off first. 3 hits tonight for him. 3 of the Yankees' 8. There he goes. Pitches outside. Throw to second, not nearly in time. Another stolen base for the Yanks.
Another stolen base and another breaking ball to run on to Aaron Judge. Just another great jump. Brett Gardner, you see him off and going. The ball even leaves the hand. High throw. He stole a base.
Two. Another 3-2 count on Judge. Fly ball the other way. And it's out of play.
I know it's kind of a gamble, and you're already in scoring position if you're Brett Gardner, but you've got to realize it. I mean, it's all breaking balls. Stealing third sometimes can be easier than stealing second, especially with Aaron Judge up there, a big, tall right-hander. Hard for a catcher to get around and throw down to third base, especially if it's a slider away.
3-2. Popped up, shallow center. Dozier is back, and he'll make the play for the first out.
We said a steady diet of breaking balls, and he just has not been able to get one hanging. They've all been pretty good balls away. Gary Sanchez kind of in the same boat. Breaking balls away, especially with first base open.
Two-one Yankees. Looking to extend. Give their bullpen some breathing room. One-0. Grounded to third. Escobar gets Sanchez as Gardner stays put. And we go back to Bob Lorenz in the studio. He has an update. All right, thank you, Bob. And that will do it for Hildenberger. They will call on the lefty with Gregorius up and a runner at second base. 2 outs here in the 7th. And with 55, Bob, that now puts him on pace for 60, which is still a magic number in baseball. What a year by this guy. What a second half.
I took a peek at next year's schedule, and it's kind of interesting. Got a home and away against the Marlins, and you won't only see Stanton, but you might see Derek Jeter. Who's he going to root for?
I think he's got to root for the team he owns, right? Here's Taylor Rogers, lefty against lefty. Swing and a miss. Gregorius is 0 for 3 tonight. Fly ball to left. A strikeout and a fly ball to center. 2-1 Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning here on a Monday night in the Bronx. First game of this 3-game set, the 0-1. 0-2. Tyler Duffy. Now the Twins mix and match. They have 14 relievers in the bullpen. That's more than the Yankees have. So they have taken advantage of the expanded rosters. The bullpen not a strong point for them. Gardner's at second. 2 men out. Yankees up by 1. Two and 2 on Didi. Betances is ready, just waiting for the end of the inning. He'll come out to pitch the 8th. And the pitch. 3 and 2. Switch hitter Headley on deck.
Well, Didi fought all the way back from 0-2 to 3-2. Much better as a hitter when you've seen 5 or 6 pitches, where they're coming from. Feel you're back into the count. Feel like you're pretty much in the driver's seat at this point.
And the payoff. Swing and a miss as Gregorius strikes out against Rogers. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Let's take this baby to the 8th. It's 2-1 Yankees. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by City MD. When you need a doctor, just walk into City MD Urgent Care. By Coke Industries. At Coke, we make things that make the world better. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2017 models. Monday Night Baseball here in the Bronx as the Yankees lead 2-1. Robertson got 4 outs. Now they're asking Betances to pitch the 8th. This will be his 62nd game of the year. 98 strikeouts in 56 1/3 innings. He'll face the bottom of the order, starting with the DH, Robbie Grossman. There's a strike. Started him off with a breaking ball. Grossman has driven in the only run on the Hyundai scoreboard. Yankees 2, Minnesota 1. And he drove it in with a force out, scoring Rosario from third. And he gets plunked with a breaking ball. So that puts the tying run on.
Tugged it a little bit too much. Last thing Dellin Betances wants to do. See nowhere to go. Kind of a funny pose, huh?
Not for him. There's Zach Granite pinch hitting for Castro. I got to tell you something, Paul. That's a great name.
What's that?
Zach Granite.
Oh, for sure.
You don't mess with Zach Granite. I think you got to be tough if you're Zach Granite. So they send the lefty up for Castro against Betances. Granite shows bunt and pulls back 1-0. These situations not optimum for Betances because fielding is not his strong suit. Ball is fielded by Bird. He gets it to Castro, so the sacrifice successful, 3-4, as Grossman moves into scoring position.
Do you think Betances was hoping Bird would take that ball? That's what you're telling me?
Pretty much. And another pinch hitter. It's going to be Kepler pinch hitting for Adrianza.
I would say first baseman, last guy to get into the play after holding the. You're always supposed to make him field the ball. And on first base.
So here's Kepler. Tying runs at second base, 1 man out. One and 0.
Just missed inside. Kepler, one of their players that they have big plans for in the future, has just really struggled off lefties, especially recently. That's why he was not in the starting lineup. With 17 home runs, 63 RBIs, having all kinds of problems handling lefties.
The fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios, and that one was 100 miles an hour. And Kepler pinch hits and walks.
Well, these are the options Joe has now. I mean, it's not like you start an inning, you're going to finish an inning. You start an inning and start struggling a little bit, Joe Girardi will get other people up in the bullpen.
First a trip from Rothschild. as they start getting busy in the bullpen, but certainly not busy enough that it will preclude them from having Betances face Dozier. Here's Chapman, though, getting up. First and second, one man out, 8th inning. Nervous time for the Yankees and Girardi. As Betances chases back Grossman. Dozier's 0 for 3 tonight. All 3 against Garcia. Breaking ball misses outside.
A little flinch back there from the umpire. Eric Cooper almost got that right hand going. Nope. It was a half strike.
2-0. Will Chapman be ready for Mauer? That's the question. He will really have to get ready in a hurry to be ready for Mauer, according to how obviously this at bat takes. The 2-0. Pours a fastball strike in, 2-1.
Good curveball there. Now he's back in the count 2-2. And that's the thing about Dellin Betances. We've said it over and over. He can pitch his way into trouble and get himself right out with strikeouts. He has that ability.
The 2-2. Foul back. Now here's the question, Paul. Let's say he gets Dozier and gets him with a great breaking ball.
It's not fair. I was going to ask you the same question.
Do you go to Chapman then?
I think you want Chapman to close this game.
Right.
And I think that, Dellin Betances, if he is on, which, if he gets a strikeout here, you've got to give him a chance. But I'm not for sure what Joe Girardi's thinking.
Well, he was thinking differently at Citi Field, and that's what angered Betances. It's the second time he's been on the mound since then. Taken out with 2 outs in the 8th. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Nope. Fouled the ball, and Sanchez could not hold on.
It's funny that you say that, Michael, because I think, see a little high breaking ball, and he just got an emergency swing at it, just got a foul ball. I think he had a longer leash today with Garcia.
Yes, I agree.
And I wonder if Citi Field had anything to do with it. And we'll see how this plays out with Betances.
Well, first he's got to get Dozier. Grossman's at second. Kepler is at first. Two-two. And that one gets away from Sanchez, and the runners move up. That was a fastball. And let's see how they score that.
Well, that's one of those that Gary Sanchez had his glove the wrong way and didn't flip it over and get in front. Kind of ricochets off.
This would be a wild pitch. So now a ground ball to short or second ties the game. A fly ball might tie the game.
You're thinking that Betances is going to go for a breaking ball and a strikeout right here.
And a breaking ball is way outside. That loads the bases. And Joe wants to see if Chapman is ready. Well, there's your answer. So Betances is going to turn it over to Chapman, and Betances really doesn't have that much of a kick coming. He hit a batter, he walked 2 batters. I understand you want your manager to stay with you, but these are important games as you're trying to catch the Red Sox and hold off the Twins. So Betances gets booed as he comes off the mound. And now the Yankees will call on Chapman. So they're going to ask their closer to get a 5-out save. Can he do it? We'll see. Right pitch, walk, also a wild pitch, and he turns over bases loaded situation to Aroldis Chapman. 47th game for Chapman. It'll be Chapman against Mauer. Mauer has a 52% ground ball rate, so you can double him up. That's the 5th highest in the American League. And Chapman has an above average ground ball rate, 51%. Major League average is 44. Yankees playing for the double play. Bases loaded, 1 out. And a fastball strike. Boy, he has great numbers with the bases loaded in his career, 372. This season, 5 for 9.
You've seen his at-bats every time up, taking first pitch strike. I mean, he's not afraid to be behind in the count. Very patient hitter, doesn't panic.
Wow. He might be panicking now, 0-2.
That's a tough one to handle right there. Fastball inner half at 101. Right under the hands. Just cannot get the barrel to it.
Mauer had a grand slam yesterday against Toronto. Helped them split that 4-game set. And pick up a game on the Angels. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He overpowered Mauer. That was 103 miles an hour.
Well, I was going to say, go right after him. Don't let him see a lot of pitches. Don't let him back in the count. Good, smart pitch here. Just continually go at him. 103. Kind of clanked out of the glove when it goes that hard. Wow, that's a power pitch against a great hitter.
So here is the youngster Buxton. Bases loaded, now 2 outs. The pitch. High fly ball right field. Judge makes the play, and Chapman comes on and works out of trouble in the 8th as the Twins leave the bases loaded. The Yankees lead 2-1. guy on the left in a big way.
No doubt about it. I mean, he came in a high-pressure situation and absolutely blew away one of the better hitters in the American League, and a fly ball. And you see his emotion right there, knowing he got it done. Bases loaded, 1 out.
And how about this, Paul? He gets into the dugout. It seems like class is in session with Betances. Betances listening intently. Chase Headley leads off and takes a strike from Rogers.
You know, it's all about picking people up at certain times, and that's a huge pickup by Aroldis Chapman.
Hyundai scoreboard 2-1, Yankees lead. 0-2. Driven out to right center. And the catch is made for the first out. That's Kepler out there. Rosario takes over in left. Chris Jimenez is the catcher. Another call to the bullpen by Paul Molitor. We'll be back in a moment. After this matchup with Minnesota, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame. Our studio team will have analysis of the key moments in tonight's game. Plus, you get scores and highlights from around the league. I know you care what's going on in Baltimore. And then a look at the up-to-the-minute playoff picture. It's only on Yes. Here is Tyler Duffy. 52nd game. You know how you always see, like, when teams are undecided or trying to play games with the other team, the pitcher is listed as TBD, to be determined. Tyler Blinn Duffy
He's a TBD.
is a TBD.
Every day of his life.
That's right. And how about this? This is amazing. That's the only TBD in Major League history.
Ever.
We see them almost every week, but he's the only real one, TBD. Oh, 0-2. Castro 1 for 3. 1-2. And the pitch. Buzzed inside. 2-2.
And Duffy going to show him that fastball in, and it's hard, right at the hands.
Chop toward third. Escobar makes the play for the second out. If you want to look ahead to the 9th inning against Chapman, Polanco, Rosario, and Escobar.
Well, you've seen what Minnesota does. I mean, they grind at you, they play good defense, and they just keep battling, and that's why they are at this spot. They've come a long way the second half by playing the game this way, and it has a lot to do with what your manager, what he portrays, how he was as a player. It kind of trickles down.
Ellsbury takes outside, 1-0. Ellsbury is 1 for 1, reached on a catcher's interference and was intentionally walked. So he's been on base 3 times, also stole a bag. Waves through that one, 1-1. One and two.
Very able to hold up there, but you see Duffy is kind of moving the ball around, breaking balls down, fastballs up. Keep you guessing as a hitter.
The 2-2. 3-2. Duffy misplays it, and Ellsbury reaches.
You know what? That's going to be a tough play anyway. Duffy's going to, I think Ellsbury's going to beat him to the spot. He's going to have to get rid of it quick. But again, anytime you have speed involved in a play, it puts pressure on the defense.
They give him an error.
I guess if he catches the ball, he can continue on to first base. But again, I mean, the pressure is being able to do it quick because you've got somebody that's motoring down the line.
Here's Todd Frazier, his sac fly, the difference in the game right now. Bases loaded, 1 out. He hits a sac fly to center. And that scored Headley. That's Frazier's 30th ribby as a Yankee and his 74th overall. One and one. 1-2. Ellsbury leads off first. He goes. Ball fouled away.
Yeah, you kind of had the feeling that he might as well get in motion, see what's going to happen if you get in scoring position by kind of cheat steal with 2 strikes. Obviously, Ellsbury, Gardner, all these guys are on their own. Joe Girardi has enough confidence in them to allow them to run at certain times on their own without a sign.
Let's see if he's going again on 1-2. I think he might be. Seems like Ellsbury is rejuvenated. There's life in his body. There's life in his bat. He's just playing the game the way Jacoby Ellsbury could play it.
It's amazing when you get an opportunity and it starts, things turn around a little bit. It's just like, wow, this is what baseball, when it's fun again.
You wonder, losing his job, did it wake him up?
Possibly. I mean, a lot of times you do get a reminder that, I miss being able to play this game every single day. Joe Girardi, we've talked about it, had so many options from early part of the year with Hicks, who's now injured, who gave Ellsbury an opportunity to get back out there, but was having a great year when he went down. And without the depth, they wouldn't be where they are right now with the injuries that they went through, especially in April and May.
Runner goes, pitch is high, throw to second. They got him. They nail Ellsbury on a throw by Jimenez. Now he's standing out there as the Yankees will decide whether or not they want to challenge. Well, we'll see if they should.
Yeah,
they should. He's safe. And they will challenge. You guys know the best, right? I mean, you can see Ellsbury didn't want to leave the field. You know when you're safe.
You have a feeling because you feel the glove hit, and
right.
A lot of times you know when you got to the bag, and this this throw was so high that it wasn't a quick tag. It was you feel the hit of the glove. It shouldn't take long in Chelsea, huh?
Well, the crowd just decided when they saw it on the center field board. The second base umpire who made the call is the crew chief, Gary Cederstrom.
Sorry, Gary. James, do they keep track of umpires? How many calls that they've had reviewed?
I think Central Baseball does.
Sure.
They know. See, I mean, we saw that right away. I just don't understand what the delay is on just overturning that call right away. So right there, you just tell the umpires, okay, safe. But obviously, I guess they're looking at every angle to see if one shows that he's safe.
They play good songs, though, under review, so you get to jam a little bit here.
As long as it makes you happy. He is safe. They overturn it. So that's the second stolen base for Ellsbury. Four stolen bases tonight for the Yankees. That's their season high. You got 2 for Gardner and 2 for Ellsbury. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. Yankees lead 2-1, bottom of the 8th inning. That's the first time that Gardner and Ellsbury have stolen 2 bases each in the same game. Two. Chop toward third. Escobar will get Frazier, and that'll do it. So Chapman will come out and try to protect a 1-run lead. No runs, 1 error, 1 left. Land Rover drive of the game. I wonder who hit it.
Well, it's all the way back in the first inning, and it's 44th of the year. Aaron Judge, fastball, the only one he saw all night. With the Yankees a 1-0 lead. So Land Rover drive of the game.
Now we go to the 9th inning. Polanco against Chapman. Chapman came on, bases loaded, 1 out, got out of the 8th inning without allowing a run. Now he deals high to start off the 9th. So asking him for a 5-out save as the Yankees lead 2-1 in the first game of this 3-game set, which perhaps is a preview of the American League wild card game. Bottom of the 8th inning in Baltimore. It's 8-8. Red Sox and the O's. There's a strike. Polanco doubled in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, and grounded to 3rd in the 7th. One. Line to left field. And Gardner makes the play, 1 out. So Polanco hit it well, but right at Gardner.
It's one of the hardest balls as an outfielder. The ball hit right at you. It's very hard to read. You can't really pick up the spin. You don't know if it's going over your head or off. See Brett Gardner, you can't get to either side of it. Lose vision of it. Good break for the Yankees. It was right at him.
Here's Eddie Rosario. Swing and a miss, 100 miles an hour.
Rosario going to have a tough time catching up to 100 with that type of swing, especially on the inner half of the plate. He had one thing on his mind, and that was trying to tie this game up on one swing.
0-2.
The first slider you've seen tonight from Chapman, just to kind of get hit in his mind. Obviously not one of his good ones, but down on the way off the plate, just to show it to him. Now you can go back to that fastball up out of the strike zone, I would imagine. Whoa.
That was up out of the strike zone.
It sure was.
Ten pitches so far for Chapman. 1-2 on Rosario. High pop up. Right side, drifting over Castro. And he makes the play in foul territory for the second out of the ninth inning.
Well, he went back to the slider. Got him way out on his front foot. Just reaching for it. Boy, Joe Girardi would love to see Chapman get through this 5 outs. Only 11 pitches right now so far to get 4 outs.
Happy fans behind him.
Those kids got school tomorrow, don't they, Michael? School's back in session.
They'll be a little tired. Here's Escobar as the Twins are down to their final out against Chapman. 2-1 Yankees, ninth inning. Pitch. Upstairs. 1-0. One and one. And the pitch. Twins are down to their final strike. Chapman sets and deals. Fouled it straight back, 103 miles an hour.
He humped up to try to get that last strike. Didn't quite get it by him, up in the strike zone too, and the stare. I think he's got his confidence back, Michael.
And the 1-2. He struck him out. Great performance by Chapman. A 5-out save, and the Yankees win 2-1.
Well, Michael, you had brought up many times that this could be kind of a prelude to what is going to happen, and this was playoff baseball. Well pitched, well played. Comes down to the last strike, and Chapman did a great job out of the bullpen, finishing it out with a strikeout.
You know, it's an overused word, Paul, but it seems like Chapman has his swagger back.
Well, there's no doubt about it. You can see life on his fastball. You can see his confidence. And again, if you're Joe Girardi, you just hope that he finds his stuff. Now you got to worry about Dellin Betances. It's a 25-man group of children that you got to take care of as a manager. The important thing is Yankees win 2-1. Big game.
Well, the magic number is 7 for a playoff spot, and it's 8 for a wild card home field advantage. We're going to go back to the studio. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry will set the table for the rest of the night.